Let's put that genie back in the bottle.
Paints with the colors of the wind, bitch.
It's time for 2 Finger Point.
Power daddy.
Our shoes are in the pond.
Extra magic hours, which we in turn called extra tragic hours.
People called him the naked mole rat.
Did you really just 2 Finger Point?
Here are your hosts, Amber and Kylie.
All right, guys. So welcome back to 2 Finger Point. I'm Amber.
And I'm Kylie.
And we have a little fun bonus episode for you guys today, a little mini one. We wanted to give some tips for doing the college program. We know that some college program kids have already started. I think they started back in May. But we know some of you guys are going to come starting up soon for the fall program. So we wanted to give some tips for you guys for maybe what you should or shouldn't do while working the program. Let's get started. So the first one I'm going to say so you get a park pass when you become a cast member. So I would say utilize that park entrance pass as much as possible. It's free. As long as you're not working and there's no blockout dates, you can go to Disney. I mean, I don't think I fully utilized mine, and now I have to pay for an expensive annual pass. So I miss it. What do you think, Kylie?
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't want to go to work on my days off, or, I wanted to go check out other things. So I kind of took it for granted.
Sure.
But yeah, it's definitely worth using, and you can get creative with it. Go to the water parks, or there's golf courses. If you're working at Disney World, if you're working at Disneyland, that's another story. But there's other things you can utilize it for other than the parks, and just change it up. And it's obviously a good place to hang out with your Disney friends for free, and it's something to do. Yeah, so take advantage, and then you also get guest passes too for your family and friends who come in. Those are very limited, and if you're going to use those, check out the blackout dates before you set any dates in stone with your loved ones.
And also pick your people wisely too, because if they get rowdy in the park, that badly reflects on you, and you may not get guest passes again based on it. Like they may just say, we won't give you anymore because your crowd got too rowdy. So it's not independent of you. That is a reflection of you too. So be wary. Okay. What's your first tip?
So my first tip is to not go crazy with spending money. I did this. I racked up a lot of debt, and it took me a while to pay it off after the program. So, spend only what you have. Don't, as tempting as it is, do not open credit cards up and just spend them. You can get a credit card with good rewards. Just make sure you're only spending what you have, pay it off right away, that sort of deal. One thing actually that Amber taught me, and it's like a lifelong lesson, the Dollar Tree.
Yes.
Utilize that thing. You can go grocery shopping there. It's not the healthiest, but it's surprising what you can get for $1.25. Housing items. We got a shower curtain there because I brought a really nice one, and our roommates were not, one of our roommates that we shared a bathroom with was not very clean, and I didn't want it getting destroyed. And Amber's like, they have them at the Dollar Tree. So we got a new shower curtain there. And it goes beyond now because they have the Dollar Tree Pluses. Amber's yet to see one, but I feel like everywhere, all of the Dollar Trees where I live are Dollar Tree Pluses now, and there's electronics and shirts and housing, appliances and stuff there for $10 and under. So definitely go explore the Dollar Tree and see what you can get there. You can get dishes there if you guys need extra ones. Yeah, and those little things, like you're not going to remember what you were eating off of, so it doesn't really matter. Your apartment doesn't need to look fancy. You're there for experiencing everything outside of your apartment.
I agree.
Yeah, definitely. And then another thing, you don't need to get all the food and the merch at the parks. Like 1 or 2 things for a memento, but you don't need to be shopping every time you go out. Just take
Yeah.
pictures, pretend you bought it.
Honestly, yeah, that's one thing that I would say is like I feel like pictures are a better momentum than merch. Like I agree. Good, have a couple of things that you really want, but yeah, you, unless you just have a lot of money already, which like kudos to you, you're not going to be making that much money at Disney. So it's really experience based, and like she said, like food wise, yeah, definitely. I would say with Vista Way, where we were actually very fortunate that if we didn't even want to drive to the Dollar Tree, we could just kind of run across the street.
Mhm.
That's how close it was for us. I don't know if it's still there now. It's obviously been a decade. But
Well,
that
and
was,
the living is on Disney now. It's
oh
not
yeah,
even.
it's not even Vista anymore, is
Yeah.
it? So, yeah, that was we were lucky for that. But yeah, I mean, honestly, have no shame when it comes to the Dollar Tree for real, because the things that you're getting aren't even stuff that you should be spending additional dollars on anyway, like a mop, a broom, random cleaning sponges and things. Like, why are you spending an extra couple dollars? Like, definitely utilize that.
Yeah, and okay, so we had that provided for us. We didn't know that because one of our roommates, I'm not gonna say who because we like them, but she kind of held our like inspection sheet hostage, but we needed to turn that in to get like a bucket and a mop and a broom. Didn't know that, so I went to TJ Maxx and spent a hefty penny on it. Opened a credit card there, got in a bunch of trouble. Um, and now they have all that stuff at the Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
So check
So,
with housing first, see if you can get it, and then if not, Dollar Tree.
yeah, but even for snacks too, I mean, like people really do sleep on the Dollar Tree. Like
Mhm.
I go there and get like their drink packets to put in water bottles. Like why
Yeah.
would you spend the $3 somewhere else when it's $1.25? And I mean, they just have everything. So yeah,
I remember
I
I was eating Hot Pockets for a second when I couldn't
yeah,
afford food because they had them at the Dollar Tree.
literally, yeah. So and like she said, Dollar Tree Plus, which I can't believe living in California, I still haven't ran into one yet.
It's probably because you live in a bougie area and people don't need
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, probably true. And the one Dollar Tree that I usually go to is like right next to a Five Below. So why would they make it a Dollar
Mm,
Tree Plus? It's kind of stupid. So
yeah.
okay.
And sorry, one
Oh
more
yeah.
thing I just thought of about saving money. Don't have any shame wherever you're at asking if there are cast member discounts because a lot of nearby restaurants and stuff will give discounts to cast. Like we would always go to IHOP or our favorite Cece's Pizza because it was unlimited. It was like a buffet of pizza if you're not familiar with what that is. And we'd get a discount and it was already cheap on top of it.
You're right. I remember like we would ask and they would kind of roll their eyes, but they would say yes. And it was
Mhm.
like, you know what? Don't shame me. Okay. You know what? I'm making pennies like you. So stop shaming me and give me
Yes.
my discount.
Yeah.
Like, and we weren't even mean about it too. So I don't know, whatever. I think that was just going back to when we talked about like the seasoned cast members, I think they could feel the glee coming off of us that they knew we were seasonal when we'd be like, "Is there a cast member discount?" Like they could
Yeah.
feel it. They're like, "You're
Yeah.
not from here."
And
Okay.
probably from a bigger perspective, now that we're older, probably they're tipped. And so discounts mean less of a tip for them. Probably
Uh,
why they rolled their eyes.
maybe. I tried to do my best even when I wasn't making money because I knew those
Yeah,
people weren't too. So if you most of the time I wouldn't go places I couldn't that needed tips if I couldn't tip because if I couldn't afford to tip
exactly.
you then I couldn't afford to be there. So,
Exactly. I've always at least 20,
yeah.
except for that one time. Do we want to talk about that one time at Applebee's there?
Oh, that was oh my god, I barely remember that.
It was you, me, and Ashley.
Yeah. Wait, what happened?
We'll make it
Wait,
quick. We'll make it quick. So we had to sit for a while. We finally get seated. The waitress stops by and says, "It's gonna be a minute. Bear with me." That was it.
yes.
That was it. She was so rude about it, and we're like, "Okay." And then I think Ashley was the only one that could afford to eat. You and I just got drinks,
Yeah.
and the I think it was she either didn't want ice or wanted a lot of ice and got the opposite of what she asked for. And she politely, like, I hope maybe one day we can get her on here. She is like the most poised, like polite, etiquette person I've ever met. Like
I loved
she's just
her.
so proper. And so she just politely asked her to correct the order, and the lady starts yelling at her. And she's like, I'm busy. This is my first day, blah, blah, blah. Just lost her temper. And we're like, excuse me? Like, what is going on here? And so I think we tipped nothing or like 5 cents or something like that and wrote on the receipt, like, don't be rude. And then Ashley called and complained on her and got a free meal the next time.
Oh my gosh. For some reason, again, this story didn't sit the same way in my head. I thought for some reason, because I remember us going, but I thought we like got up because she didn't serve us. And I thought that was the same day that we went and got food somewhere else.
I
Maybe that was a
we
different
might have gotten
time.
food somewhere else, but I remember cashing out and like maybe we didn't end up eating there. I don't, yeah.
Because the drinks I remember, but maybe we didn't end up eating there and we just had drinks because we anticipated eating there and we went somewhere else. I
Maybe
think.
that makes more sense because I remember not eating and just
Yeah.
paying for a drink.
I mean, that could have been because we were poor too. So who knows? Like,
Yeah,
it's hard to say.
that's why I thought that.
That's what I'm saying. It's so funny how we had like pieces of that story and together we made one story.
It's been a decade.
Oh
Almost.
man. I know. That's why it'd be so fun to have some of our roommates on too. It'd be great to see, first of all, how they're doing, because I see them on Facebook and like Instagram and I'm like, miss you. Um, but we don't like speak. So let's rolling into roommates and all that. Here's my second tip. And this I think I don't know if this is my number one or my one after, but this is definitely a good rule of thumb is don't be an asshole roommate. Okay?
Mhm.
So you're crammed into these apartments with an average of 5 other people. 5. Yeah, 5. You're gonna have at least 3 other people in that room with you because I think they do bunk beds occasionally. Don't know. Confirm or deny that somebody who's in the program.
I hear that at Flamingo Crossings it's 2 and 2 now
Oh,
for
it
a
is.
total of 4. So you guys are very lucky.
Oh my God.
However, these
So
rules still apply, or these tips still apply.
oh yeah, 100%. So just try to be respectful as possible. Don't eat other people's food without permission. I don't know who didn't learn this rule in kindergarten, preschool, whatever age it was. Don't eat other people's food. Don't eat the Pop-Tarts.
Don't eat the Pop-Tarts. We had, oh my gosh, it was very entertaining. One morning we woke up and we were, whoever's new here, Amber and I shared a bedroom. We made it, guys. We're best friends to this day. But so it is possible. But we woke up to this screaming match from our adjacent roommate or housemates that shared a room. And we were just like, oh, tea time. Hot and ready in the morning. They were screaming and it was over stolen Pop-Tarts.
Which, like we said, guys, we were not rich. So,
Yeah.
Pop-Tarts were like gold. They were expensive. They still are. So it was kind of like, don't do that. And I mean, side note, it's funny because one of the roommates in the screaming match at the time, we worked at the same location and she liked to change her story. So instead of fighting about Pop-Tarts, the other roommate threw Tupperware at her, which didn't happen. But, we love a good exaggeration.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Also, don't leave your shit all over the place in the common rooms. So the common rooms, again, not very much space, but like, again, why would you leave your stuff there? Be respectful of your roommates. They don't want to see your shit everywhere. Who would? Again, wash your dishes or at least put them to the side and say like, hey, I will wash these. Sorry, I'm in the middle of whatever, just again, be respectful, but.
And then go actually do it. Don't say you will and then leave it because we had that a lot.
That too. I mean, and again, don't leave the communal bathroom nasty. I don't think I should have to say that, but I feel like I have to because we had some communication issues in our house where our communal bathroom, for some reason, was always disgusting. I felt like we were always cleaning it, or at least cleaning parts of it because it was just so bad. But I will say, I don't know if they still do it. I feel like they have to because we were all college kids. They do the white glove Disney inspections that they do monthly?
I don't know. And it was always at random too. So
Yeah. They
I
just
don't
came and knocked or they would leave a note saying like this block is going to be between these couple of days. We'll just show up whenever.
did they?
I
I
think
don't
so. Or at
I
least
don't
you would hear whispers that they were coming around the area so that
yeah.
you knew. Maybe it was whispers.
I just remember hearing boom, 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 and then you're like, crap.
Uh
Not that we ever I think they made us tidy up like clothes on the floor once.
oh
But
yeah.
it's like that's our dirty laundry pile.
I
Unless you
was
want to buy me a
pissed.
hamper.
No, I was pissed because I actually so what it was for me is I had been working at that point, I think for like 2 weeks straight. So I had a pile of clothes in my it was actually in my hamper, but it was like getting tall. And they came in the room and they were like, your hamper, deal with that. And I was like, what do you want me to do with that? And they were like, wash your clothes. I was like, are you gonna pay for them? Because I can't afford it right now. Also, I've been working for 2 weeks straight. I haven't had a chance to do it yet. And they just kind of like looked at me and I was like, yeah, so, like, they will get sassy with you for no reason. I mean, granted, sometimes it's I don't know. I just give them sass back if you need to, but also don't give them too much sass because you will get in trouble.
Yeah, you don't want to get reprimanded.
Okay, what's your next tip?
Um, so this is very important, especially to those girls out there. Be wary of the full-time and the part-time employees that are trying to hit on you or hang out with you sketchily. I'm sorry to say this, but chances are you're not anything special to them. They're just creeps. Like I've witnessed a guy go hit on a girl, get turned down, and come try to hit on me, and I'm like,
Oh,
"Are you kidding me? I just saw you." Um,
that
or
is so gross.
I've seen them do it to other people too. It's they're disgusting, and even adding them on social media is weird. I had a guy add me, and honest to God, I thought he was gay.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh, he's, cool. Like, yeah, we can be friends. And then we were talking about, he wanted to hang out. And I said, oh, I'm at the gym. And he said, I can be Jim. And I'm like, oh, we're not gay. I need to
No.
do something about this. Yeah, it was very creepy. And then I had one guy, really creepy. Your girl was so broke and wanted a meal though, but he like pressured me to go to his apartment. Definitely thought things were gonna go down, and I just got up and was like, I'm out of here. He tried to use his little sister to keep me there, like to guilt me into staying. I'm like, I'm out of here.
Oh
Out of
my
here.
god. It doesn't
Really creepy.
surprise me. Yeah, no, it doesn't surprise me that that's the did I just short circuit? Wow. Um, it does not surprise me that they do this just because I feel like the two types were either kind of creepy or like indifferent slash angry towards us CPs. So that
Mhm.
doesn't surprise me. But yeah, be wary, especially because I know a lot of these program participants come in young. You guys are
Yeah.
18, 19 years old. So I mean, be vigilant, be safe, be aware of your surroundings. Have somebody who has your location, have a best friend or a parent who knows where you are because you
Mhm.
just never know, especially in Orlando.
Yeah, and even if you don't want your parents knowing where you are because you're getting wild, have your roommate or somebody.
Yeah.
You're definitely gonna have a handful of people that you can trust there. Probably gonna be CPs, so just be careful of those that reside in the area and work there permanently. At 18 and 19, they're expecting you to all be that way. And
Mhm.
the one that was trying to take advantage of me in his apartment, he was surprised when I told him I was 22. And why is that surprising? Because I believe he was like 26.
Oh.
So just foul.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Jesus Christ, come on, guys. Like, you just set a bad standard for all dudes. You make us all women afraid. Like, stop scaring us.
Yeah, and I don't want to limit it because there's a chance that women can be doing it there too.
Yeah, you're right.
But I know the men were very creepy. Oh, I just remembered. There was one guy, could not stand him. He was one of those, I'm gonna be a jerk to you because you're new. And
Ugh.
then flipped a switch on me and started flirting with me one day. And I'm like, no, you're gross. First of all. Second, you've been a jerk to me. Keeps it
Ew.
up, even though I'm not reciprocating, keeps it up to where it's just awkward. And then he does it I find out he's dating one of the girls that works there full time. And I actually became friends with her. She's a very nice, sweet, funny girl.
Mhm.
I find out they've been dating, and then he does it right in front of her. And the look on her face, it just seemed like they had to keep things under wraps. And I don't know how word spread to everybody, but and it really hurt her. And I'm like, you're not only gross, but you're a jerk.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Ugh.
just avoid those full timers.
You can feel their energy too. So, I mean, just read the room, ladies. I mean, we all
Yes.
know how to do that as women and men too. I mean, anyone, everyone, everyone be wary, be safe. At 18, I feel like it's so hard to try to be safe and
Yeah. The ones that, I would recommend you being friends with are probably, and, I use the word friends very slightly, but, like your management's probably not going to be interested in you. If they are, that's a big problem. So they're probably safe to have
yeah.
a conversation with, or, people that aren't attracted to you. Um,
Yeah. Some of
and
the older ones too,
yeah,
the older
the,
seasonal.
the older ones that have families.
Yeah.
That are like the work mom or whatever, they're probably safe, and they'll probably help look out for you too.
Yeah. And I mean, this is not to scare anyone too. It's like you're not going to walk in and immediately be like hit on and creeped out. This is Disney. You'll know when it's coming. So just uh be mindful and react appropriately.
Yeah, just walk away. Don't give your number out. And there was one time, it was the guy that was named Jim. We got word, two of us who were creeped out by him got word that he wanted to give us a ride home, and we went and hid in the bush. Like literally. And I guess he had seen it and told another friend of mine, and he was really hurt. And I was like, I don't care.
I
I'm not
remember you telling me this. I
not
remember
getting in a
this.
car with you. I don't care if I hurt your feelings.
Yeah,
And
you need to know your feelings are hurt.
don't care. That's a tip. Don't care about hurting people's feelings. If you feel uncomfortable, they're gonna manipulate you to try to get whatever they're
Yeah,
wanting. Do not feel bad for advocating for yourself.
100%. That's the biggest thing I think that like when it comes to women, they play on our emotions. So don't let them fool you, whoever they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. You don't
Okay.
need to find love there, but
Yeah.
speaking of, what's your
Yeah, I was
tip?
gonna say, which I feel like this is almost kind of contradictory of what we were just talking about, but it's not. Like, so it sounds funny. So come to the program alone. It sounds weird, right? Like after what we were just saying, but in my opinion, you don't need to bring a boyfriend. You really don't need to bring a boyfriend. Whether he's at home and you're like still, I don't know. In my opinion, I think come single in general. But if you have a good, strong relationship, fine. I just think no. Or your besties from back home, like I don't know. I think it's one of those once in a lifetime opportunities where you come by yourself, you meet new people, really immerse yourself in that experience and just, you can meet some of your best friends. I mean, Kylie and I, we're a decade of friendship. Like, we didn't know each other. I came and knocked on her door and we lived together in the same room. So like we could have hated each other.
Hmm. Yeah, I 100% agree. If you, I mean, if you want to keep your boyfriend back at home, that is your decision. We're not telling you to break up.
Telling you break up, don't do it. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I had like for full disclosure for anyone who doesn't know, I had a bad relationship that I left him at home, but we were still together when I was at Disney. So if it's a bad relationship, I say can cut full ties. But if you have a supportive boyfriend who just can't be there with you, but fully supports the experience, I say, I guess go for it. But I don't know.
Don't bring them with you though. We had a roommate that brought hers with her, and they broke up, and it was very messy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I say fully single because you don't know who you're going to meet and you don't know what you don't know. And I feel like being where you were could keep you very close-minded. So being there, it kind of gives you the experience to be more open-minded to new people.
Yeah, and not even like I didn't go with the intention of, meeting anybody, and with all the creeps and whatnot, I ended up like feeling asexual at one
Yeah.
point. I was just like, I don't want to talk to anybody on that level. I just want to survive and, enjoy my experience here. And, I feel like taking any part of home with you is going to hold you back because you do get to make these bonds with people, whether it's your roommate or if you're not that lucky, the people you work with, you're going to make friends. 100% guarantee you will make friends. You will find your people. I have a few handfuls of people, different states to different countries I still talk to this day. A few years ago, I went and visited somebody in New Zealand. Shout
Yeah.
out Leonola. And I got to meet her family. I got to experience her Tongan culture. I got to experience being in New Zealand because I made that friendship. You're going to meet people, and those people from home are probably going to, expect you to stay the same person as you are at home. You might change, or you might peel some layers back and discover different parts of you from this once in a lifetime experience. So come alone, like Amber said, and just let Disney do its thing.
I agree. And I think the fun part about it is like most of us did come alone for the most part, So it's like we're all kind of reaching for those friendships and experiences. So it's not like it would take very long for you to kind of find somebody who's going to be reaching out towards you. Now, that may not be your bestie for life, that first person, but you're going to go through meeting a lot of different people. So and it's so funny because speaking of love stories, I worked with somebody who actually she found love at the DCP, and they ended up getting married, and they're still
Oh, wow.
married. Yeah, oh yeah. They just like off in love. Like it was so crazy. They met together at the program, started dating, and everyone was like, "Oh no, this is bad. It's not gonna work, never gonna work." And they got married, and they're all they so they proved me wrong on that. But I mean, that's few and far between, guys.
Yes. Yeah, don't go expecting to find Prince Charming.
Yeah.
Probably not going to. Sorry.
She was the only person. So, I mean,
but it's okay. You're not there to find love. You're there to find friends, lifetime friends. And trust me, you're going to find the value in that when you get there.
Yeah. And looking back, just the experiences too. And like, even so, like what you said, you don't have to seek people out because they're there. That's the easy part. You're there for the experience. And like you said, you don't really want to bring that bit of home because, if we go back those few episodes when people were asking like about friends calling you while you were at the Disney program, and it was a disconnect because you were a different person, you were living a different life. So it's kind of like you want to detach from that so you can live that full free Disney experience. And I feel like when you bring somebody from home, you have to kind of be who you are, and you can't be free and have that fun. And maybe they don't know that Disney quote unquote nerd side of you. So maybe you don't want to bring it out. So yeah, I feel like it could hinder you. So yeah.
And you will make friends. I had friends before I had an apartment. I met two girls in line while we were waiting for an apartment. We exchanged numbers. We decided we were going to go to downtown Disney and grab dinner that night. And Amber hadn't joined my apartment yet and hadn't really gotten to know those roommates yet. So I was kind of feeling outcasted. I was the only one without a roommate in the apartment. So I was very thankful that I had made those two friendships beforehand. So I had something to do that night. And that just goes to show you're going to make friends very easily. You're going to find your people. Everyone really is your people there. I remember my first week of working, I was in the break room and there were people like 2 or 3 tables away. They're speaking in Whale. And I was like, I'm in my element right now. This is my place. These are my people.
I love it. Yeah, it's just I think the fun part about the program is it brings out the kid in all of us, no matter what age we are. So I think that's where it makes it easy to invite those friendships in because we are kid-like again. So we get back to, like, do you like the color purple? Yeah, I like the color purple. Okay, let's be friends. That's kind of where we're at again. So I think it's fun. That's why I say that. Okay, what's your next tip?
So you're going to be having a lot of fun, but don't go on the party bus. Just don't. That's my tip. Don't go on the party bus. 10 years down the road, you'll be glad you did not. Again, on the creepy people, there's these shady guys that are not affiliated with Disney trying to get you on a bus. and they don't care what your age is. They don't care if you're 21. We never went on the bus. We can't say what happened on the bus, but you could guess. I'm sure
Yeah.
there was a lot of underage drinking, probably some young girls getting taken advantage of. Probably just a lot of stuff that I'm really glad I was not involved in or around.
Yeah, I honestly I'm surprised that those buses were able to sit on that Disney property and
Right.
Disney didn't tell them to go away because like you said, it promoted the underage drinking, and Disney had a zero, and still does have a zero tolerance for underage drinking. So if you got caught drinking, period, point blank, that's it, you're done. So I'm surprised that these buses still made it on property every week. But yeah, I'm thankful too that we didn't ride the party bus. I think there's plenty of other ways to go and have a good time. House of Blues, downtown Disney, downtown Orlando. There's plenty of places where you can go have a good time and you're not going to be subject to these. I don't even know what you want to call this because I don't know. I
There was a
find,
type of guy in Orlando, like even when you go out to the bars, they were there 30s, 40s, and they thought they could talk to you. And it's just like, excuse me, who do you think you are? Like, you're old enough to be my dad. Get away.
yeah,
Get
I
away from
think,
me.
yeah, it's the unearned confidence that it's used card salesman is what I say, because there's
Yeah.
this feeling to it where it just feels icky.
It's slimy. Yeah. I remember this guy tried to grab my arm in Cowboys, and I did my whole self defense, like getting out of it, and pushed him away. And I said, "Don't touch me." And he looked at me weird and like, "I don't care. I don't know you. You don't need to be putting your hands on me." And they like just assume, oh, you're Disney
Oh
or
my
18
God.
years old, which still, like, I would hope 18-year-olds know a little bit of how to keep themselves safe, and especially these days with Gen Z, I feel like they're more advocating for themselves. But
Yeah.
there's some
So gross.
weirdos.
Yeah, that's gross. Dudes, do better. And women. I mean, I don't want to just say men, but everyone do better. We can all do better.
Yeah. So
Okay.
what's your next one?
My last tip is bring a car to the program. So,
Amen.
yeah. So my number one, groceries. Groceries. How awful would it be for you to not have a car? Say you really do need to go to Walmart and get a bunch of food for like the next month or whatever. You got to bring all that shit on the bus. And we've talked about those buses. Not amazing. Bring the car.
The
Um,
bus drivers are not amazing. Like, they drive crazy.
that's true too. So they're gonna knock you and all your stuff around. So I say that. And then just when you want to get away on a day off, or say, for example, Disney does early release, they let people go, and you have half a day to do whatever you want. You can't go drive to the beach because you can't get there. So it is nice so I feel like it's a double-edged sword here having a car, because it is nice to have the ability to get away, go to work, leave when you need to. But as a CP, when you start interacting with other CPs and they realize you brought a car, they are now fully going to be asking you for a ride home every time. Now you are the one they ask versus you asking other people. They come to you. And if you're a nice person, you're pretty much going to have a full car every time you leave Disney.
And nobody wants to pay gas.
And here's a fun fact, none of those people in your car live in the same apartment complex as
Yep.
you. None of them. And you don't know how you got here because you're like, I just want to go home. And that'll take you another hour to get all those people home, on top of the 30 minutes it's going to take you to get home too. Or was it like 30 minutes or was it like 20? Whatever. It still took time.
It's like 30 when you have to take everybody home.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious because there's girls. Well, in my experience, there were girls.
Yeah.
Too cool for school. Didn't want to talk to me. Too cool for me. Whatever. Didn't want to be friends with me, which is fine. I don't care. I'm here to
Yeah.
work. The second they learned I had a car,
I already knew where this was
there
going.
were more people than seatbelts trying to get in my car.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, same here. People couldn't have been bothered with me, couldn't have cared less. Oh, you're just another CP like me. Oh, you have a car?
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's funny how those
I
things change.
Oh, yeah. I remember towards the end of my program, or at least, our stint of our program, because we didn't make it to the end. Um, I would start like getting, because I had to ride West Clock because I was Magic Kingdom. So I would ride the West Clock bus. Did you ride West Clock? No,
No.
right? Okay, just making sure. And you would get off that bus and then you were in the parking lot. And I would just get off that bus and I would actually try to get on the bus that didn't have any of my friends. So if I would either get on first or I would wait for them to all get on and wait for the next bus. But I wasn't trying to get off the bus at the same time because when you got in the parking lot, it was either get on the next bus to get you back to where you were supposed to go at your housing complex, or find a buddy who has a car and figure out where they're going. So you would start seeing people separate. And when you saw the people separating towards the parking lot, if you knew them, it was tap, tap, hi, where do you
Mhm.
live?
Or I feel like I had somebody I didn't even know, or was it you? Somebody, one of
Uh-huh.
us had somebody ask and they didn't even know us, and it's like, no, you cannot get in my car. I've never
Pretty
seen you in my life.
I'm pretty sure that was me. I feel like I
Okay.
remember this happening. Yeah, no, people got bold. I'm telling you, like if you had a car and you were walking towards that parking lot and people didn't want to ride that bus or that bus just left, where are you going? You going to Vista? I'm like, who are you?
Do you pay my car payment? Do you pay my gas? No.
Yeah. Because at this point I had people who I'd kind of become friends with at work, and it was like I didn't want to be a bitch to these people, even though they lived in different housing complexes. Of like, I have to see you again tomorrow, so I can't be mean to you because you're all I got at work.
Yeah, but the thing is too, like in hindsight, it's not being mean to
No,
not be a taxi for somebody and they're not paying you or anything. Like you've worked a long day, you don't want to be driving people around. It's not your problem that they didn't bring a car. So boundaries, people.
yeah, yeah, definitely have them if you can. And I don't know what their restrictions on cars are now. I know they have parking passes. We didn't necessarily have parking passes back then. It was kind of just a free for all. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry now.
But it is
But
worth it
yeah, but
to have a parking pass.
yeah, but I feel like now that I feel like everyone's just bringing cars. I think they've accommodated that with the parking pass. So I think everyone's just doing it now. So, but yeah, I definitely suggest it. I know there are hindrances to it, but I feel like the positives outweigh the negatives. And you can say no, speak up for yourselves. Like she said, have a boundary. If you don't want to drop people off, don't. You don't have to.
Yeah. It did come in handy once for us because do you remember when you were left at the airport?
Oh my God, yes. Yeah, that non-Disney related. I had gone home for my brother's graduation. He graduated high school, and I came back, and my one of our other roommates was supposed to pick me up, but I called her and she was like, "Nah, I just don't feel like it. I don't want to. I'm not coming to get you." And so I was like, "But I'm stranded. I can't get home." And she was like, "That's great. I'm gonna just cook some dinner or something. Like, gotta go. Bye." And so I
She's
called
not
Kylie.
lying.
Yeah. So I called Kylie and I'm like, "Are you at home right now?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Can you come get me?" I'm like, I'm telling her I'll like give her gas and stuff. And she hears my story because I tell her the same story. And she goes and looks, like peers out of our room and she goes, "Oh yeah, she's here. She's just sitting on her bed." Or what did you
Oh no,
say?
I flat out walked into their room because the door was open and I went and I like pretty much stood over her bed to like look at her. And on the phone, yeah, I'm like, yeah, she's here. She's just laying down in bed. I don't know why she can't come get you. Like I didn't care. We had a major issue. Like every single person had major issues with this girl, so I didn't really care.
Yeah, she made it an issue for no reason. But yeah, I felt really bad because then Kylie came and got me, and she didn't have any gas, and I was
I
like, "I
was driving
promise."
on E the entire time. I don't know how I did it, but we got there. We got
Oh,
Amber.
wait, do you remember? Because you were like, "I don't have any money. I can't get to the airport because
Yes.
there was a toll." And
Yes. And so you were like, okay, in my car, I have a jar of change.
because when I drove down to Florida from Mississippi, I knew there was going to be tolls, but I didn't know how many. So I just had a jar of like quarters, nickels, and dimes. And I'm like, "Go get it out of my car."
We made it work and we got Amber back home.
Oh my God. It was, yeah. So this was another bonding experience.
Oh, Yeah, going off of that, my next tip, which car comes into play, is explore beyond Disney. So whether you're in Florida or California, there's a lot to see. And unless you're a native there, it's all going to be new for you. And this is your once in a lifetime chance to go out as an individual without your family or whatever with you and go see what you want to go see. And then on top of it, they can be cheaper, like going to the beach. I would always go out to Cocoa Beach. It was an hour away. And sometimes I'd go by myself. Sometimes I'd go with a few friends and always had fun. We got to eat at this restaurant on the pier and it was like normal pricing, probably $10-15 to have a burger and fries, all like outlooking the ocean. Um, and then you also just kind of get a break. Sometimes, when you're working for Disney, like some of that magic goes away and you don't always want to be in the Disney bubble. So
Yeah.
it's a good little break.
I agree with that. Yeah. I think exploring beyond Disney is definitely important. I fortunately for me, like my grandparents, they lived on the outskirts of Orlando, in Winter Haven, so which was only like 45 minutes from where I was. So whenever I kind of wanted to escape and have like a place to go, I'd go visit my nana. So that was kind of nice.
And she'd always come back with candy
I did.
galore.
Yeah, so my nana, it's so funny over throughout the years, she waits for like the after holiday sales and she would always ask me like, "What candies do you like? What kind of chocolates?" And then every time I'd visit her, she would have these like bags of it because she would like save it until I'd come visit her. So I'd come back with like all these bags of candies and whatever else she found throughout the year and I'd be like, "Here, Kylie, we're back in stock again." Like
That's
it's
always
so
good.
funny.
Well, those are our 8 tips if you are new to the Disney College program. Um, and if you want to chat with us, if you have other questions or you want to share stories as a DCP or whatever, we're interested, we're invested. So DM us, email us, whatever way you can contact us. We're pretty responsive, I'd say. So hit us up. We want to hear your stories. If you want to come on and share what it's like right now, because it's been 10 years for us, or 9 years for us. So
Yeah. Oh my God, it would be so cool to hear from somebody who either just did or is doing the college program. I'd love to know kind of what their experience is like, and so we can kind of see what the differences or updates or upgrades have happened over the years.
yeah, we've followed quite a few on Instagram.
Yeah.
If you have in your bio that you're a CP right now and you follow us on Instagram, I'm more than likely following back because I want to see what it's like right now. So if you want to chat with us and share, let us know, and we can keep you anonymous too if you got some tea and don't want to have your name out there.
Ooh, yeah, a good roommate story. If you want to just like vent it
Yeah.
out to us, we love a good roommate story or just anything. So yeah, I'm definitely invested in that too. I've been perusing the Disney College Program Reddit.
Yep, me too. There's some tea.
I love it. So yeah, I'm definitely interested. Give it to me. It's so funny. I feel like we're like super elderly now compared to
I know. It's nuts.
it feels weird. It's not like it's been that long.
I know. It's been almost an entire decade.
So weird.
There was no TikTok back then.
I know. I wish I could have documented more of my experience. But I guess, yeah, that just wasn't a thing. I think that's why it's cool. I like being able to see it. I like being able to see
Yeah.
what you guys are doing because we couldn't really do that during our program. Like we could do it, Instagram.
Instagram. It was like newer back then.
It had just come out in like what, 2012?
Yeah, I think so. So that was the new thing, the new hot thing to do.
But that wasn't even Instagram now. It was like Instagram with a heavy filter and
Yeah.
a like mysterious quote. Like if you weren't being
Yes.
mysterious and like we were still in our emo era at this point.
Yes. Photos and a witty caption.
Oh my God, back in the day. I still have those up on my Instagram and it's just like, wow, how my Instagram has evolved.
luckily, I think it's 2021, I had this little break and I was like, I'm done with social media. So all of that, I have photos and videos still. I downloaded everything before I deleted it, but old Kylie was swiped off the internet. Thank
Oh, see,
goodness.
that's smart. No, I'm up there. I'm up there from like high school on Facebook. It's so,
I'm glad because I did not enjoy like see what you said 8 years ago. I don't care that I was listening to Jonas Brothers and Taylor Swift at 2:50 in the afternoon.
Oh my God, mine were like going to work.
Yeah, exactly.
So stupid.
Eating chips on the couch.
So dumb because that was before you could actually update it. So it would say like Amber is. Like it was always.
Yeah.
All right. And that just shows how old we are.
Yes.
All right, guys, we're going to stop boring you with our old social media entertainment. So thank you for checking out our. Wait, did I sign us on? I think I did.
I can sign us off.
Okay. I don't want to take that.
No worries. So thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe and comment, like, rate, review, all the good stuff. And we will catch you on Tuesday for a new episode.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. You can connect with us on Instagram and TikTok by following 2 Finger Point Podcast. That's the number 2 spelled out, TWO, Finger Point Podcast. If you'd like to hear your story, have a question, or even be a guest on the podcast, visit twofingerpointpodcast.com and click on our contact page. We'll see you next week for 2 Finger Point Tuesday, but until then, have a magical day.